So why do you prefer ChatGPT to Jasper? What's different about it?
Well,
Different tool.
different. They're very different. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never used it. Yeah, I know about it, but I've never used it yet. So.
Yeah. It's more. You interact with it more conversationally. You don't have prompt boxes and fields. It's just one field, and you enter what you want. If you wanted to summarize text, don't go to a box that says include your text here to be summarized. You say, can you summarize the following text using British English, please? Please be as succinct as possible.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, you tell it. You kind of train it. It's like talking to someone, an instructor saying, okay, can you tell me, can you do this? Can you do that?
Yeah, because Jasper do that now as well. They do the chat. They've added that recently.
But I think they're pulling off the same API.
Maybe, yeah.
They're using the GTP 3.4 now.
Are they?
Yeah. So it's a different tool.
Yeah.
It's very much like you ask it stuff. Like what I would like to do, or what I've been trying to do with it, is to feed in longer pieces of content. So a bottleneck in my work at the moment is that I might have like a long transcript from a call I've done with someone, and it's currently, even with like, a fairly good transcript, it's still quite a bit of work to kind of get that tidied up into prose that is close enough to be usable. And I'm kind of wondering, like, could I take like 3 pages of text, feed it into this, and say, please tidy up the transcript? And currently it can't do it because you can only enter about 500 characters or so.
With GTP4, it can take up to 25,000 words.
Can it?
Yeah, that's the new.
That's the new one.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you should be able to do that.
my limitations might have already been solved. What I would also like to do with it is, and I think you might have to do. I think this is more advanced. You might have to do it through the API, but like obviously, so I sent a daily email for quite a long time. So for about 3 years, I sent a daily email. I'd like to now repurpose some of that. What I like to do is like feed the whole body of work into ChatGPT so that it knows this kind of things I'm writing about. It knows some of my stories. It knows the voice and the tonality, and then say, please create a set of social ads based on some of the things I've written in the past, and kind of leverage and reuse some of the older pieces of work.
You could do that in one. You could start a new chat here and copy and paste 5, 10 stories saying, read these, and then afterwards, instead of using the previous, because it always remembers what came previously, then you say, using the previous content, write the posts.
Yeah.
Just pick out some pertinent ones.
Yeah.
I actually used ChatGPT to create the list of companies for the LinkedIn audience. So I said, can you give me a list of at least 500 US gaming companies with their main site URL, because you need the 2 to link up in LinkedIn. And can you format it as a table? Column 1 is the name of the company, and column 2 is the URL. And that gave me a table of 500, and then of UK companies. I did the same for the US ones. And I checked them, and then when I put them into LinkedIn, it matched up more than 90%. Again, outside of copywriting, this is something that this could do, but Jasper can't do that.
If you just ask it to write a story, it will write a pretty crap story. So if you say like, please write a story about a man in Midwest USA who goes into a saloon, orders a drink, I'm trying to think of your kind of typical story, Neil, gets into a fight, finds an attractive girl.
I'm rubbing off in Europe here,
and escapes into the sunset. So you can ask it stuff like that, and it will come up with a crap story. But then, based on what it outputs, you could then say, no, can you please rewrite it, but with a different tone, or can you please rewrite it with this, or please take this out. So yeah, it is quite fun. It is quite fun to have a play around with.
Okay.
And
Actually-
obviously, I haven't given this much guidance, and potentially you could say, well, actually, as a source of inspiration, like perhaps you could do something with it.
You can also, you can prime it as well before you say, can you write the story? Can you make sure that, or say when you rewrite the story, can you make sure that you use, you do more showing and not telling?
You can do
can
that.
you add suspense? Can you add, and prime it like that?
Oh, wow. I think I'll have a
so-
look at it then.
No. And it's worked. I've actually tried that, and I've also tried it retrospectively with the story and saying, in this blog post, can you identify where I've been doing more showing, more telling than showing? So it identifies, and then it says, well, maybe you actually should rewrite this and do and explain more about the situation. So you can use it like that too.
Great. There we go.
It's quite wow.
So yeah, it's still going on about Jake and who's it come up with? Jake and Jenna.
Memorable, Jake and Jenna already.
So please rewrite the story with more focus on the fight and more suspense. They build up.
You see, there's more freedom to
indeed.
ask and tweak and. But that's good. It also puts more on you. You have to still come up with the ideas, unless you're doing
It's
kind of a
garbage
starting
in,
point.
garbage out. If you give it good input, it'll help.
Yeah.
So I basically see it as partly as a kind of writing assistant. I think it's a good writing assistant, but obviously the writing assistant is only as good as what you ask it to do.
Yeah, indeed.
And it's only going to, obviously this it will only write based on what is currently out there in the ether as well. So and sometimes it does write some fairly stupid things. So you have to check it quite closely. The other way that I think it's useful is, as I put in the first part, is just like researching. So like I've got a client, I'm writing some stuff for him about webinars, and he's not giving me a huge amount to go from. So you can go and research and ask it to give you ideas and pain points, things are struggling. Or what questions are people asking about X or
I find it as I'm liking the idea of is that it's taking away the tasks I don't like doing. I want to do the creative stuff, and I don't want to spend half an hour trying to get the right subject line or the right headline for something. I like to write 10 versions of a headline for a blog post. I don't really want to do that because it's not the thing I really enjoy. I would want to do something a bit more creative than that. But here I can plug in the blog post for a client and say, go, give me 10 headlines. And then I can go through them and think, okay, is this good? Is this good? Is this good? Based on what I know about writing headlines. And then maybe mix and match them or something. But again, it's quick. I can do that. And I can spend my time doing something that I enjoy more.
Yeah.